Are you truly at peace? Let me ask you something real. When was the last time you felt truly still inside? Not numbed by scrolling, not pacified by busyness, but actually at peace, with nothing to prove, nowhere to run, no weight pressing on your chest. If you're like most people today, that moment probably passed before you even realized it. You wake up to a dozen notifications. You rush through your morning, already reacting, and by the time evening comes, you've spent the day chasing everything except yourself. Here's the hard truth the Stoics knew thousands of years ago. Most people are not tired from doing too much. They're tired from doing too little that truly matters. That's why this video exists. Not to motivate you to go faster, not to guilt you into grinding harder, but to remind you that happiness and peace aren't emotions you stumble into. They're results of the life you build. And the life you build? That's determined by one thing: discipline. Discipline is self-respect in action. Why motivation isn't enough? Let's pause for a moment and address something important. You don't need more motivation. You need clarity. You need structure. You need self-respect. The problem with motivation is that it's unreliable. Some days it's there. Most days it's not. And if you rely on motivation to move forward, then your life becomes an emotional roller coaster. You're disciplined only when you feel inspired. But Stoicism teaches us something far more sustainable. Don't wait to feel good to do good. Act according to reason, not emotion. That means you get up because it aligns with your values, not because you feel like it. You write even when it's hard. You eat clean even when junk food tempts you. You walk away from toxic conversations even when your ego wants revenge. Discipline isn't about mood. It's about mission. Discipline trains your mind to serve you, not sabotage. Have you ever noticed how your own mind can be your greatest enemy? One day it tells you to dream big. The next it whispers, "You're not good enough." One moment it says, "Let's build a better life." The next it says, "Let's just scroll and numb out." But your mind is like a wild horse. If you don't train it, it runs the show. It panics. It overthinks. It avoids. Discipline is how you hold the reins. And here's the miracle of it. The more disciplined you become in your actions, the more clarity you gain in your thoughts. You stop being pulled by fleeting moods and start living by chosen principles. You become the kind of person who doesn't need to feel confident to do the right thing, because doing the right thing makes you confident. When you trust your actions, you begin to trust yourself. Discipline and emotional mastery go hand in hand. Here's something most people miss. Emotional discipline starts with physical discipline. If you can't control your impulse to hit snooze, to binge on junk, to check your phone during every pause, how can you expect to control your anger, your anxiety, your fear of rejection? That's why the Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. They fasted. They slept on the floor. They faced rejection, not to suffer, but to strengthen their will. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Every act of discipline is like a workout for your soul. The more you embrace discomfort intentionally, the less power discomfort has over you. You're no longer reactive, you're prepared. You're no longer fragile, you're forged. The identity shift from I should to I am. Let's go deeper. Every time you follow through on a disciplined choice, you're not just getting results. You're casting a vote for your identity. You're saying, "I'm the kind of person who shows up. I'm the kind of person who values peace over pleasure. I'm the kind of person who builds, even when it's hard. And the more votes you cast, the stronger that identity becomes. The gym isn't just about fitness. It's about becoming someone who doesn't quit. Waking up early isn't about hours. It's about self-command. Meditation isn't about silence. It's about sovereignty. You don't become disciplined by accident. You become disciplined by choice. Repeated, daily, relentlessly. Try this, the 3-by-1 rule of self-discipline. Let's make this practical. Right now, take 30 seconds and think of 3 small disciplines you can commit to for the next 7 days. Nothing huge, just clear, doable, daily. Examples. Drink water before coffee. Write 3 sentences in a journal. No phone for the first 30 minutes after waking. Walk 10 minutes after dinner. Breathe deeply when feeling stressed. Now pick one of them, just one, and start today. Track it. Stick to it. Protect it like it matters because it does. You're not just doing a task. You're proving to yourself that your future matters more than your excuses. Real-life example. Emma, 42, from scattered to centered. Let me tell you about someone I worked with named Emma. She was a 42-year-old project manager, sharp, kind, overwhelmed. Like many of us, she had goals. Meditate, read more, sleep better. But she kept breaking promises to herself. So we didn't add more goals. We took things away. She picked one habit, 20 minutes of focused journaling every morning before phone or email. At first it felt awkward. She resisted, but she stayed with it. Within 2 weeks, her anxiety dropped. She stopped checking her phone before she brushed her teeth. She started leading meetings with more presence, not because she changed everything, but because she committed to something small with great integrity. Her words, "For the first time in years, I'm actually proud of how I start my day." What you practice, you become. Here's the timeless truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And those habits, they come from what you tolerate. If you tolerate distraction, you'll become scattered. If you tolerate drama, you'll live in chaos. But if you cultivate discipline, you become unshakable. Discipline is the foundation of peace. It's how you create space inside yourself that no one else can disturb. Build something you can trust. Discipline isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest with yourself. What kind of life do you really want? What kind of person do you want to be in 5 years? 10 years? Now look at your daily actions. Are they building that future or betraying it? This isn't about shame. It's about awakening. You are always building something. The only question is, will it be worth living in? 3 Stoic quotes to anchor your discipline. To close this section, here are 3 timeless Stoic quotes to remember. 1 Epictetus, "No man is free who is not master of himself." 2 Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." 3 Seneca, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." Let this be the year you take your peace seriously, one promise at a time, one habit at a time, one disciplined moment at a time. Emotional discipline, the power of inner stillness. Let's get honest again. You've probably been told that peace comes from fixing everything around you. Fix your job, fix your relationships, fix your schedule, fix the world. And sure, those things matter. But here's the Stoic truth. You don't need life to be calm. You need you to be calm, because life will always have noise. There will always be someone who says something stupid. There will always be a delay, a disappointment, a detour. And if your peace depends on everything going your way, you'll never truly have it. That's where emotional discipline comes in. What is emotional discipline? It's not about suppressing how you feel. It's not about pretending everything's fine. And it's definitely not about becoming cold, robotic, or unbothered for show. Emotional discipline is about staying centered when your emotions want to pull you apart. It's the ability to sit with discomfort without being ruled by it, to respond instead of react, to act based on principle, not impulse. In Stoic philosophy, this was seen as the highest form of strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Translation: the world doesn't make you angry. Your interpretation does. And that interpretation, that's yours to change. The modern mind is emotionally exhausted. Look around. The average person today is emotionally drained, constantly reacting to headlines, notifications, other people's opinions. One text ruins their day. One traffic jam ignites a tantrum. One rude comment on social media, spiral mode for hours. We live in an age where everyone is emotionally online 24/7, but spiritually offline. And that's why Stoic emotional discipline is more relevant now than ever before. Because in a world that profits off your reaction, your stillness becomes your rebellion. Story: the day I lost my temper and found a better way. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was in line at the airport, tired, hungry, flight delayed. The person behind me was on the phone, speaking loudly, complaining about everything: politics, weather, people, life. I could feel my irritation growing like a fire in my chest, my jaw clenched, my thoughts sharpened. This guy's ruining my peace. Why is he so loud? I was ready to snap. But then something hit me. A quiet question whispered, "Are you really going to give your peace away?" For this, I took a breath, stepped aside, put on my headphones, and just let it go. Was it perfect? Number, but in that moment, I didn't lose my temper. I didn't lose myself. That was the day I realized emotional discipline isn't about controlling others. It's about not letting them control you. Stoic techniques for mastering emotions. So how do you actually develop emotional discipline? Here are 3 timeless Stoic practices you can use starting today. 1. Pause before you react. Epictetus taught, when something happens, the only thing in your power is your response. When emotion hits, anger, envy, shame, pause. Literally, breathe, step back, ask, what story am I telling myself right now? Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it necessary? Just that pause creates a space, and in that space, wisdom can speak. 2. Name the emotion, don't become. It's Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. When you feel overwhelmed, say it, name it. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling jealous. I'm feeling angry. Don't say, I am anxious. That's an identity. Say, I'm experiencing anxiety. That's temporary. You are not your emotions. You are the observer. You are the captain, not the storm. 3. Return to your values, not your feelings. Your feelings want relief. Your values want growth. They often don't agree. So when you feel emotionally triggered, ask, what would a wise, grounded version of me do right now? Act from that place, even if your feelings scream otherwise. That's Stoicism in action. That's leadership over your inner world. Who are you when life doesn't go your way? Character isn't built when things go smoothly. It's revealed when they don't. So ask yourself, Who am I when I'm cut off in traffic? Who am I when someone disrespects me? Who am I when plans fall apart? The Stoics believe peace is earned in the moments no one sees, in the battles between your reaction and your response. You become what you practice. So if you keep practicing anger, you'll become anger. If you practice stillness, you'll become peace. David, the overthinker who found calm. David was a 36-year-old entrepreneur, smart, driven, but emotionally exhausted. He couldn't enjoy wins because his mind was always waiting for something to go wrong. One mistake from a coworker, he'd lose it. One client complaint, he'd spiral for hours. His peace was fragile because it was external. We worked on one thing, emotional rituals. Every morning, 10-minute silent meditation. Every time he got triggered, pause, breathe, write down what he wanted to say, but don't send it yet. First he resisted. He said, but it feels fake. I said, of course it does. Growth always feels awkward at first. 3 months later, his team reported he was calmer, clearer, more focused. Not because life got easier, but because he stopped letting emotion lead his decisions. Peace is a skill. Train it. We think peace is a luxury. It's not. It's a discipline, a muscle, a practice to art. You don't meditate once and become still. You don't breathe deeply once and eliminate anxiety. You train, you repeat, you refine, day by day, moment by moment, reaction by response. Your nervous system doesn't care what you believe. It cares what you practice. So practice calm, practice space, practice not needing to win every argument, and you'll find something miraculous. Peace starts showing up on its own. Journal prompts for emotional mastery. To go deeper, try journaling on these. 1. What emotion hijacks me most often? 2. What story do I tell myself when I feel that emotion? 3. What would a wise response look like instead? Write, reflect, practice. This is how emotional discipline becomes emotional intelligence. Replace why me with what now. When life hits you with something hard, your first instinct might be to ask, why me? Why now? Why this? But the Stoic response isn't why, it's what now? What's the next best action? How can I turn this into fuel instead of fire? Life isn't fair. People won't always be kind. Emotions will visit, uninvited. But you get to choose what stays. You get to choose who leads. Stillness isn't found in silence. It's built in storms. And every time you choose calm over chaos, you build the kind of peace no one can steal. Building daily discipline, tiny habits, total freedom. We've talked about emotional control. We've talked about choosing peace over chaos. But now comes the part most people skip. The daily practice. The boring, repetitive, unglamorous part. The stuff you do when no one's watching, no one's clapping, and you're not in the mood. Because here's the truth. Freedom isn't found in escape. It's built through structure. And structure comes from discipline. Not just once. Not just on good days. But daily. The Stoic view of habit. The Stoics didn't separate philosophy from practice. To them, wisdom wasn't something you read. It was something you lived. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Translation? You don't need more time. You need more intention. And intention starts with your habits. You see, we all live by systems, whether we design them or not. The way you wake up, the way you eat, the way you handle stress. Those aren't random. They're routines, and routines become your life. So the question is not, do I have habits? The question is, are my habits building the life I want? Why small habits are more powerful than big goals. Let's be real, we love big goals. Lose 30 pounds, write a book, start a business, change the world. But big goals without small systems, they die fast. They overwhelm. They become fuel for shame when we don't hit them. That's why Stoicism emphasizes the present moment. Today, this breath, this choice. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, said, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, and your systems are just tiny habits done consistently with intention." Story, from rock bottom to routine. Let me tell you about Josh. Josh was 39, recently divorced, gained 40 pounds, hated his job. He kept telling himself, "I'll fix it all next month." But next month never came, until one night he broke down and admitted something. "I don't need a new life. I need a new day," repeated. We started with 3 things. 1, wake up and make his bed. 2, drink a full glass of water before coffee. 3rd, journal 5 lines no matter how he felt. That's it. No gym, no radical diet, no big declarations. After 2 weeks, he added a 10-minute walk. A month later, he stopped sleeping with his phone beside him. 3 months in, he was meditating, reading, eating clean, laughing again. What changed? His life didn't change first. His habits did. And through those, he rebuilt his self-respect. Why discipline brings you closer to freedom. Most people think freedom is doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But that kind of freedom, it's an illusion. It often leads to addiction, chaos, and regret. Real freedom is the ability to choose what's right, even when what's easy is screaming louder. Discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It's not about saying no to joy. It's about saying no to noise so you can make space for joy. Tiny habits done daily equals internal order. Internal order equals peace. Peace equals power. 7 foundational Stoic habits to build daily discipline. Here are 7 small but powerful daily disciplines rooted in Stoic practice. 1. Wake up without your phone. First 30 minutes, no scrolling. Instead, breathe, think, be, ask, what kind of person do I want to be today? 2. Cold water. Optional discomfort. A cold shower, a splash of cold water, something to shake your comfort reflex. Voluntary discomfort builds mental strength. 3. 10-minute silent walk or meditation. No phone, no podcast, just you and your breath. Listen to your mind, watch your thoughts. 4th, daily journaling. Even 3 lines. What did I do well today? What challenged me? What would a wiser version of me do tomorrow? Marcus Aurelius journaled daily. You can too. 5. 1 act of self-respect. It can be small. Preparing your clothes the night before, saying no to fast food, drinking water instead of soda, cleaning your space. You're not doing it to impress anyone. You're doing it to remind yourself, I matter enough to take care of me. 6th, evening reflection. 5 minutes before bed, review your choices without shame, with curiosity. Where were you aligned with your values? Where did you drift? 7. Practice saying no. At least once per day, to gossip, to distraction, to anything that doesn't serve your peace. Every no is a yes to something deeper. How to make these habits stick. Don't try to do all 7 at once. Pick one, just one. Commit for 7 days. Track it, then stack another, and another. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Create triggers and anchors. After I brush my teeth, I journal. After lunch, I walk 10 minutes. Before bed, I reflect on one moment I'm proud of. The less you rely on willpower, the more sustainable your discipline becomes. Design your day, or your distractions will design it for you. Inner talk that builds daily strength. Replace these, I don't feel like it. I don't need to feel like it to do it. One time won't hurt. Every small choice is a vote for my future. I'm too busy. I make time for what matters. That's Stoic mindset. You are not ruled by your urges. You are ruled by your reason. Real life. Anne, from chaos to clarity. With 15 minutes a day, Anne, 47, was a single mom with 2 jobs. She thought discipline meant waking up at 4 a.m. and overhauling her life. We started smaller. One habit, 15 minutes of solitude after putting her kids to bed. No screens, no cleaning, no work, just a chair, a notebook, and stillness. It became sacred. She started sleeping better, woke up calmer, felt less resentful, more grounded. She said, "That small space gave me back my sanity, and now I protect it like my life depends on it." Because in many ways it does. Ask yourself, let's pause here and reflect. What is one habit I know I need to build, but keep avoiding? What small promise can I make to myself today? What version of me is waiting on the other side of that discipline? Your answers will show you where your life is being shaped, whether you're aware of it or not. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a small step, repeated with love and intention. Because discipline isn't what holds you back. It's what sets you free. Discipline as the foundation of true happiness. Let's begin with a paradox. Discipline, the very thing we often resist, is the thing that creates the freedom we crave. And that freedom, it's the soil in which real happiness grows. Most people think happiness is about more. More comfort, more ease, more success, more stuff. But the Stoics saw it differently. To them, happiness wasn't a mood or a reward. It was a byproduct of living in harmony with your principles. Why feel-good happiness always fails? Let's be honest. We've all chased the feel-good version of happiness. A purchase that gave us a dopamine hit for an hour. A compliment that made our day until the next one didn't come. A weekend of indulgence, followed by guilt on Monday. This type of happiness is addictive, but fragile. It depends on circumstances. It vanishes when things go wrong. It disappears the moment someone disapproves, or life doesn't go as planned. It's pleasure, not peace, and without discipline, we're trapped in a cycle of chasing and crashing. The Stoic redefinition, happiness equals eudaimonia. The Stoics had a different word for happiness, eudaimonia, loosely translated as human flourishing. It wasn't about fleeting joy. It was about living with virtue, integrity, courage, wisdom, and self-control. It was about becoming the kind of person your future self would thank you for being. And here's the key. You don't achieve eudaimonia by feeling good. You achieve it by being good consistently, especially when it's hard. And that's where discipline comes in. It's the bridge between your values and your reality. Story, the decision that hurt now, but healed forever. Let me tell you about Miguel. He was 33, talented, charismatic, loved by everyone. But privately, he struggled with alcohol and approval addiction. He couldn't say no, couldn't slow down, couldn't sit with himself. One night, after missing his sister's graduation due to a blackout, he finally admitted, "I'm not happy, I'm just distracted." He entered recovery, not just from alcohol, but from the chaos in his life. He built small routines. He journaled, meditated, said number, slept more, spoke less. It was boring, it was lonely, but it was real. 2 years later, he told me something I'll never forget. Discipline saved my life. But more than that, it gave me peace. And peace, I learned, is happiness that doesn't need to be loud. Discipline creates direction, and direction creates meaning. You want to know what makes people miserable? Drifting, drifting through life, through relationships, through decisions, without anchor, without purpose. Discipline changes that. When you choose structure, you choose direction. And when your life has direction, it begins to feel meaningful. Viktor Frankl, who survived the Holocaust, wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." Discipline is what keeps you walking toward that why, even when the how gets hard. Slow joy is the strongest joy. Let's talk about the kind of joy that discipline builds. It's not flashy, it's not viral, it's not Instagram worthy. It's slow, it's steady, it's earned. It's the joy of going to bed, knowing you lived with integrity. It's the joy of saying no to what harms you, without needing applause. It's the joy of trusting yourself, because you've kept your word. The longer it takes to earn, the longer it tends to last. Lydia, the artist who created her piece. Lydia was 58, brilliant painter, but stuck in a loop. Procrastinate, guilt, burnout, repeat. She kept saying, "I'm waiting for inspiration." But the truth was, she was avoiding herself. We shifted the focus from inspiration to discipline. 30 minutes of painting, daily, no outcome required. Just show up, brush in hand. 2 months later, not only was she creating again, she was smiling more, sleeping better, laughing again. Her words. Discipline gave me back my joy, not because I made something great, but because I finally kept showing up for myself. When you respect yourself, you stop chasing external validation. Here's a hard truth. The less you respect yourself, the more you'll need others to do it for you. Without discipline, you lose trust in yourself. You become dependent on others to make you feel whole. But the moment you start keeping your word to yourself, even in small ways, you become whole again. You no longer need everyone to like you. You no longer need life to be easy. You no longer need to escape, because you've built something stronger than comfort, self-respect. And self-respect is the root of inner peace. And peace is happiness in its highest form. 4 questions to align discipline with true joy. Pause and reflect. 1. What kind of happiness am I chasing right now? Quick or meaningful? 2. What discipline am I avoiding that I know would set me free? 3. Who would I become if I honored my values more than my feelings? 4. What is one hard choice I can make today that my future self will thank me for? Write your answers. That's the beginning of your path. Discipline versus deprivation. Know the difference. Discipline isn't self-denial for the sake of suffering. It's self-alignment for the sake of freedom. So don't confuse the two. Deprivation says, you don't deserve this. Discipline says, you deserve better than this. One comes from shame, the other from self-love. You're not being hard on yourself. You're being honest with yourself. That's the Stoic way. Wisdom quotes from the Stoics on discipline and joy. 1. Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. 2. Epictetus. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. 3. Seneca. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Discipline isn't what takes joy away. It's what makes your joy real, earned, lasting, and entirely yours. Peace is a choice you make again and again. So here we are. We've talked about discipline, not as punishment, but as love. Not as something that limits you, but something that frees you. Not as a set of rules, but as a daily path toward your highest self. And we've talked about happiness, not as something loud, not as constant excitement or endless comfort, but as something deeper, still, lasting. Now here's the truth I want to leave you with. Peace isn't a place you arrive at. It's a practice you return to, over and over again. The world will keep spinning. Let's be honest. The world isn't going to slow down. It won't suddenly become easier, quieter, simpler. You will still face pressure, distractions, people who misunderstand you, days when you don't feel like showing up. And that's exactly why this work matters so much. Because if you don't choose peace on purpose, the world will choose chaos for you. If you don't anchor into discipline, the noise will pull you apart. But if you do, if you build even a small daily practice of presence, intention, and alignment, you'll carry a kind of calm that nothing outside you can touch. You don't need to be perfect, just present. Stoicism never said you have to be flawless. It never asked you to suppress your emotions or pretend everything's okay. It asked you to observe, to reflect, to respond instead of react, to be aware of your mind, your choices, your impact, and most of all, to come back, to return to your path, no matter how many times you drift. Every time you fall and stand again, calmly, humbly, intentionally, you are practicing stoicism. You are building peace. You are becoming strong, not despite your flaws, but through them. Peace is not perfection. Peace is presence, and presence is powered by discipline. Let go of the old narratives. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not too far behind. What you are is untrained. What you need is structure that serves your soul. Not discipline imposed from guilt, but discipline guided by purpose. The Stoics didn't yell at the world. They trained themselves so they could meet the world with clarity, with courage, with compassion, with control. That's available to you too, today, right now, in this moment. A closing journal prompt for you tonight, before bed. Try asking yourself this: where did I protect my peace today? Where did I give it away? What can I do tomorrow to bring myself closer to the life I truly want? Don't aim for big answers, just honest ones. Because honesty plus discipline equals growth, and growth equals peace that lasts. Final message. This is a lifelong path. This isn't a 30-day challenge. This isn't a quick fix. This is a lifelong practice, and every day is an opportunity to return to it. When you choose stillness over reaction, you win. When you choose alignment over comfort, you win. When you show up with discipline, even when no one is watching, you win. So if today you feel scattered, behind, uncertain, good. That means you're awake. That means you're on the path. Now take a breath and take one small step in the direction of the person you were born to be. Peace is not something you wait for. It's something you build, one choice at a time, one breath at a time, one disciplined day at a time. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay intentional, stay on your path.